Hello everyone, Evasion here and welcome back to my channel. In this video I wanted to take some time to help some new players maybe be able to pick their martial arts class. Now I've spent some time playing all of the martial arts class, but in this video specifically I want to talk about the comparison between Scrapper and Striker, even though Battlemaster and Striker are the two comparison classes. Since I have uploaded some videos previously on my channel about Scrapper and Striker, I've got a few questions like which one do I like better, and so I want to talk about that, but I'm also going to include some information talking about Soul Fist and Battlemaster a little bit. And yeah, maybe this video can help shed some light on which class you want to pick if you are looking to play a martial arts class in Lost Ark. And if you find this video useful, please be sure to give this video a like. I'm kind of switching over from playing another game, mostly as the main content of my channel, and it'd be greatly appreciated if you could like this video, but without further ado, let's hop into it. Also, I will not really be including Lancemaster in this video as it's not going to be released on North American launch. If you would like to see a video about Lancemaster, I did spend some time playing it on the RU server, so talk to me in the comments if that's what you're interested in. We can maybe make one of those in the future. So starting off, we're going to talk about Scrapper, and Scrapper is a very fun class. I really enjoy playing this character. And what sets Scrapper apart from the other martial artists is it has a 2-meter system. It has both taijutsu and shock, or yellow and green as I'll refer to them in this video. For the sake of ease for new players, when you press a yellow ability on your action bar, it is going to generate some shock, which is the green meter. And the green meter are your heavy hitting attacks. And when you use a shock ability, it is also going to generate some yellow meter. So basically the idea of Scrapper is that you want to balance the use of these two abilities so that you can keep going back and forth and you always have resources to spend on your abilities. Now, there are some more complicated iterations of this, or not maybe more complicated, but different iterations of this in the future with PvE because of engravings. For this video primarily, I just want to keep it PvP based as that's what I've spent most of my time with. In the future, I would also like to do PvE content. So anyway, the Scrapper is more of your heavy hitting direct strike kind of martial artist, and you really feel that in the attacks of this class, and that's probably why I think it's so fun to play. The sound effects are just brutal. It's got a really cool ultimate where you kind of dive into the air and come down with two dragon fists onto the ground. Another thing that sets the Scrapper apart from the Striker is that it has a lot more access to super armor, and basically super armor is something you want in PvP, and what it does is it protects you a lot of the time from getting hit out of your combos by other players' abilities. If they approach you with an ability that doesn't have super armor, we'll say a lot of the Striker's abilities, and they just press a super armor ability, your combo just won't go off, you'll get caught, which is not really great. So it takes a lot of knowledge to learn about all the abilities that have and don't have super armor, and so having abilities with super armor is just in general a little bit easier of a learning curve. This is especially important in a 3v3 deathmatch scenario, as you could get a combo, and if you don't have super armor on whatever ability you're hitting at the current time, another player can very easily just hit you out of it. And so that's why a lot of the time when you run into other videos, you will see Scrapper and maybe even Striker perceived as lower tier because they don't have as much access to this as some of the other classes, as say a Deathblade. A thing that makes the Scrapper stand out from the other martial arts classes is that the spacebar dodge on the Scrapper is actually a 2-part ability. So you can press it once, and if you don't press it again, it'll put your dodge on cooldown for 5 seconds. Or with one cooldown, you can actually just press spacebar twice and you can dodge twice. You'll see maybe in these clips, I can use this to get around people, or you can kind of dodge once and still hang on to it for a couple seconds. You don't have to press it immediately. You just have to use it maybe within 2-3 seconds. 3 is probably too long, probably 2 seconds. And then if you do that, your dodge will go on cooldown for 10 seconds. So you have a little bit of variation in choice to decide how you want to utilize this. I think that this is one of the most interesting things about Scrapper, and it's something that I think it really makes me enjoy it over the other martial artists for this reason. Now, Soul Fist actually has an ability that kind of can serve for the same purpose. Every time, okay, my favorite thing about Scrapper is every time, I'll try to include some sound effects here in this video. Every time you hit somebody, you can just feel it. You can just feel it in your core. You're just like snapping somebody, and it just feels so satisfying. I think that has got to be my number one favorite thing about Scrapper. The general feel of the class is just like over the top. I have like a wicked smile on my face right now because I just realized this. I was like going back into the video clips that I got just to like refresh what's going on. Holy. All right, so we've talked about Scrapper. Now let's move into talking about the Striker, and I'm going to start off talking about its class system. And basically, you have this meter that has 3 beads, and the beads will fill over time. And if you use abilities, it fills them faster. And think of this as like a Street Fighter meter. Basically, the more you fight, the more it builds up, and then you have abilities that will spend 1, 2, or 3 of the beads. And one of the downsides of Striker is that it doesn't have very much super armor. And one of the only ways to have super armor in a PvP scenario is that you spend an ability that costs 2 of these beads. And while it does have significantly less super armor, this ability is actually really good. So it's kind of a pro and a con. This class is very fast by comparison to Scrapper, and it has a lot of moves that are able to be pressed repeatedly, like their combo or chain moves. Basically, you can reactivate the same key multiple times, and it will have multiple parts. I think one of the main appeals of playing Striker is that for those of you that may have played Blade and Soul in the past, I don't know if you remember the Kung Fu Master class, the KFM, but it's kind of the same idea where it's not necessarily the most high tier character, but it has like the allure where you just want to be really good at it. And there's going to be like a small, maybe not so small because it's a pretty hype class, but a dedicated player base that plays this class at a very high level. And it's going to be really cool when you run into these players. I think that Striker is like this class. Striker is that class for this game, where when you see somebody that's really good at it, it's going to be really cool. That's why I want to have one as an alt, because the more I learn to understand the game and the better I get at PvP, Striker is going to be like really cool class to hop onto and just win some rounds with. Another cool thing about the Striker is that its combos felt very open-ended. Like you could kind of pair stuff together however fit the situation. There was no real kind of cookie cutter combo. Like I know when I play, say, Deathblade, there's like a very cookie cutter combo. You have like a set way you want to go in, and you have like another 5 buttons you can press after that are just kind of all one after another, very methodical. And Striker can very much mix it up and do stuff in different ways. And I think that this is really good for long-term entertainment value. I would say that this is more of a strength of martial arts classes in general, but I believe that Striker and Battlemaster kind of do this better than the other two in having more variations of how they can string their combos together. And I think that that's really good for, once again, long-term entertainment value. So if you're worried about getting bored with a class or how it strings its combos together, you like to kind of mix it up, then this is probably a good idea for you to play Striker and or Battlemaster. In this video, unfortunately, I don't have any clips of the Battlemaster, but one of the main things to note about the Battlemaster versus Striker comparison is that, if I were to sum it up real quick, Battlemaster is more of the support group team character, and some of its abilities reflect that in that you kind of give your teammates more damage. And Striker is more of the selfish DPS, so to speak, although I believe it does have access to some form of party debuff. Battlemaster is definitely just more focused on this concept. If neither of these 3 characters have already got your interest, then maybe Soulfist might be your class. Now, Soulfist is way different from the other characters in this list here, because Soulfist is actually, even though it's a martial artist and it has some close range abilities, I would say that this is more of a hybrid, and it's kind of a mid-range. It has some long-ranged abilities it's pretty good for PvP in the sense that in a team setting, you can use said long-range abilities to free your teammates when they get comboed by the opponent. And this is really powerful. You can kind of play more of a supporty role, or you can also... Soulfist does absolutely insane damage in these settings. I would say I'm definitely going to be having a Soulfist too. It's kind of a late decision. Originally, I was going to do something different like Sorcerer to switch it up, but I'm definitely going to get a Soulfist in there as well. I wasn't able to properly test this out on the RU server as best as I want to, because I kind of felt as though having a higher ping with Soulfist was a little difficult. So if you're not looking or not interested to be a full melee and you kind of like the martial arts aesthetic, and maybe you like Dragon Ball Z or something, you're not a Saiyan, but you're pretty damn close to a Saiyan. So maybe if you want that mentality, you want to power up, you want to shoot some laser beams, Soulfist is probably your thing. Being extreme shortage of the amount of Battlemaster footage in this video, I want to show off the really cool looking ultimate skills of the Battlemaster to close out this video. And I'll probably have one of these eventually as well, because I'm going to have a bunch of characters. So maybe we'll have a Battlemaster at some point. I hope that this video has helped you decide or maybe get closer to a decision. At the end of the day, I think that you should play whatever you think looks the coolest and will have the most fun playing. And this game, if you're coming from another game that's like way more time disrespectful, we'll say, you're gonna have a lot more time where you can have alts and you can mess around and play different classes. And especially having multiple characters can be a decent thing to help you build extra resources, even just to fuel a main. So there'll be times when you will be able to play multiple characters and keep progressing a main character and therefore get some variety in. And anyway, please, if you enjoyed this video, please like the video. I spent a bunch of hours making this video. It took a lot longer than I expected, but I really enjoyed making it. And if you want to see more content about Lost Ark, please talk to me in the comments below, and we'll see you all in the next video. Peace.